Hey y'all, Kirsten here. Welcome back to the KGC Pilates 10-day Me, Myself, and I challenge for people who do the absolute most. And you have a lot on your plate, but you made room for yourself. So shout out to you for showing up for yourself. We're now 6 days straight. That's right. We are on day 6 of our arms, booty, and core challenge. And today we're focused on our arms. For today's class, you will only need a pair of light weights. Think 1 to 3 pounds, maybe 5 pounds max. Don't go any heavier than that. If you don't have weights, you can always use some soup cans, canned goods, whatever. Just do whatever you got to do to make it work. Also, weights are totally optional. You can do this just using your body weight. So we're going to just first take a moment to breathe deeply. So take both of your hands, wrap them around your rib cage. When you're ready, inhale. Nice and big, filling up your lungs, and then exhale that air out. And again, inhale. Nice and big, filling up your lungs, and exhale that air out, pulling your belly button to your spine. Remember that Pilates breath. So before we start to use our weights, have your arms long in front of you, little circles. 4, 8, 7, last 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse. 4, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now let's pick up that weight. Both of those weights, have them in your hands. Try not to have a depth grip, a nice light hold. Elbows are tucked in, starting with serve the tray. So we're serving this platter. Your elbows are tucked in for your serve the tray movement. As you're lifting your arms up on that high diagonal, having a big exhale that air out to lift those arms up and then bending those elbows. Nice. This exercise is going to work your shoulders, your lats, and your back as you lift and lower. Another option here for an advancement. You already know you can come to that high kneeling position when you lift your arms up, low kneeling position when you lower your arms back down. Exhale to lift up, inhale to lower. Nice. So as you're doing this, we're working that posterior chain again, fancy word for the back side of your legs. As you lift and lower. Totally optional. You don't have to do this little disco hip. Second option, not for an advancement, but a modification. You can always sit down, crisscross applesauce if that feels good to you, as you're lifting and lowering. Now, whether you are at your knees, whether you're doing that lifting and lowering, still think about lengthening through the crown of your head as you exhale to lift up and inhale to lower. Now, if your biceps, your arms, even your triceps, your lats aren't already on fire, that just means you are really damn strong. So I'm going to go back to this high and low kneeling position so I can get into that disco hip. Now, let's add a little bit of a variation to this. The next time you bend your elbows in, exhale, send your arms out to a Y or that W shape. So one directly in front of you, and then one out to the side. Nice job. As you lift and lower, still lengthening through the crown of your head, pulling your belly button to your spine on that exhale. Think about knitting that rib cage in. If you're like me, you ever want a corset or sometimes, those Spanx undergarments, it should feel like that with your rib cage knitting in on that exhale. Nice. Last 4. We're almost there. Final 3. You got it. Last 2. And final 1. Hold here. Pulse it up an inch and down an inch for 8. 7. Last 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bend the elbows in. Extend the arms out again. Pulse it up an inch and down an inch for 8. 7. You got it. 6, 5. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax your arms all the way back down. Hold here. Arms are long by your side. Hinge forward slightly at a 45-degree elbow. Arms are straight behind you. When you're ready, bend your elbows in for your tricep kickback. Extend it long. I'm going to turn my body so that y'all can see it a little bit better, that slight hinge at those hips. If you're sitting in the center of your mat, I want your gaze to be at the edge of that mat to keep that head, neck, and shoulders in alignment as you're bending and extending those elbows. Now, an option for that advancement, we're going to add in that disco hip Again, if that feels good to you. So the next time you bend your elbows, come to that high kneeling position, low kneeling position when you extend your arms long. Exhale, inhale at the bottom. Nice. So we're just getting into this little tricep kickback. That's a little tiny muscle in the back of your arm as you lift and lower, still engaging the core. Your powerhouse as you move through this. This is definitely challenging. Your stability as you lift and lower, your stamina for the amount of reps that we're doing, and that strength, making you a little bit stronger with each rep. Last 3, you're almost there. We're going to pulse it out. You already know. Final 2. And last 1, and hold here. Hold those arms extended in that high kneeling position. In an inch and out an inch for 8, like a little bird about to fly away. Last 6, final 5, or I like to say a plane as I'm jetting away. For 3, last 2, and 1, and bend those elbows all the way in. You can shake those arms out just for a moment. Now, still holding those weights. Bring your arms directly in front of you, making a circle like you're about to hug a tree. For our next movement, hug a tree. That big circle, fingertips are touching. When you're ready, open those arms wide, and then exhale to close. Inhale to open, exhale to close. Again, a nice light grip on those weights, not too heavy, not too tight as you're opening and closing. If at any point the weights are too much, you can always drop the weights and go back to just using your body weight as you open and close that circle. But I want to challenge myself today. I'm still going to hold these weights in my hand. Let's add that advancement. When you're ready, exhale, high kneeling position. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale to close that circle, like you're hugging that big tree, or maybe someone special in your life, that little boo-thang that you're giving a nice hug to as you lift and you lower. Final 3. Good job. Last 2, we're going to add a variation. And final 1, hold here. Can you lift your arms and lower it? And lift and lowering. So now we're adding that little overhead reach for the last 10 seconds. You got it. Final 4. You're almost there. Last 2 and final 1, and relax your arms all the way down. Shake those arms out. Give yourself a round of applause. You have made it past day 6 of the KGC Pilates Me, Myself, and I Challenge for people who do the absolute most. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow for day 7. We're going back to our core, our powerhouse.